Hey creatives, and welcome back to the Thriving Artist, the show where we discuss how creatives create flourishing careers. I hope you got your dancing shoes because our guest for today, she documents and promotes dance through documentary films, creative marketing videos, and filming live performances. And she has a production company that's based in Manhattan, which has worked with a list of incredible dance clients. She's produced countless films which have been screened at dance film festivals, educational institutions, and conferences. She also holds a degree in broadcast video and dance. And she lives in New York City with her husband, photographer Chris Duggan, who you guys got to meet yesterday, and her kids, Gracie and Jack. So without further ado, please welcome Nel Shelby.
Thank you. Thank you. And I can add my dog, Roxy. That's a new addition to the family.
I love it. I'm so curious about your story because when I stumbled upon you and what you do, I was like, whoa, dance and video production. I feel like that's like two huge passion points, and you've been able to bring it all together. So I'm curious, which came first? Was it dance? Was it video? How did this creative journey go?
Well, yeah, so dance definitely came first. I've been dancing like many people since I was 3 years old, starting out with like ballet, then doing tap and jazz, and was at a dance studio in my hometown of Evergreen, Colorado, for my whole life, putting on fun costumes and doing dance shows every fall and spring. And then I decided that, I had an interesting journey just of school. Like I started out going to a private college where they didn't have a dance program. So I thought I was going to be a teacher and I was going to major in education. And then I just was not feeling it. And I started traveling with a group called Up With People, which is a group that tours all over the world. And we put on a show, and we also do community service, and we stay with host families. And so I ended up, you don't necessarily like perform in the show. Like that's not the biggest part of it, but because I have been dancing my whole life, I did perform and I also sing. And so I danced and sang in the show. And I think after that, I realized like, I really want to be dancing. And so I found a school, a really good school, Stevens College, that had a great dance department. And so I got my BFA in dance. And then, as my mother always says to me, how did you ever decide to major in broadcasting? Because for some reason, it was almost like this serendipitous thing that I knew I wanted to get my BFA in dance. My dad recently found something where I said, we have to document this. And it was like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And my dad always carried around those big beta cameras.
Yeah, the huge camcorders.
The huge camcorders. Yeah. And so there's tons of home movies. And so I don't know if maybe that's where I sort of started my interest in that. So I combined the two together, and my best friend Megan also combined the two together. So that's why we became best friends. We're the only people, I guess, in the history of the college that had done something like that. It's a lot of work to put the two together. And then when I got an internship at Jacob's Pillow Dance Festival after I graduated from school. And it was a video internship. And that's still currently, I'm now the video producer. So now 16 years later, I'm still working here. But I got the internship and I thought, I was such a genius for combining dance and video together. And then I came to realize that that's what a lot of other people do. It's very natural for a choreographer, artistic director, someone in the dance field to be interested in video. I think there's choreographing in video. There's manipulation that you do as you're dancing also.
Understanding motion.
Yeah, exactly. Understanding movement, timing, instincts, all of that. So then I realized, okay, I'm not as much of a genius as I thought because other people are doing it. But then that was great because then I got to learn from other people. There were a lot of dance films that were played at Jacob's Pillow that summer. And I was like, wow, this is really incredible. And then I spent the whole summer documenting dance. And then when I moved to New York City, people just started, I went to one audition to be a dancer and I was like, I'm not going to do this. I mean, I have so much respect for it, but it just didn't feel right to me. It felt like, I just felt like a very small fish in a huge pond. And people were asking me, can you film my show? Can you film my show? And so I felt like that was sort of a sign that maybe to go that direction as opposed to be a professional dancer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sort of like where it all happened. And also like my story is that I wanted to dance on a cruise ship really badly. I don't know why, maybe, but I felt like that was a huge desire. I sang my whole life. And so I just thought that would be so much fun. And when I went to apply for that job, all of my video from college was so terrible. I was like Sally Bowles in Cabaret, and I had this beautiful pink sparkly dress on, and I danced and sang on the stage, and like you couldn't see me. I looked like a tiny little pea. You could barely hear me. So it was like I had nothing to show for it. And so I felt like I don't want that to happen to other people. I want people to be able to show what they do. I felt like in that moment, I sort of dedicated myself to documenting live performance. And I've had, there's been many artists that I feel like because they have good video, they've been able to move on in their careers, move on, meaning like get more gigs, get more jobs. Even though I make marketing videos and documentaries, I feel like documenting dance is really the core of what I do, because I want everything that's on the stage to be seen again, archived.
That's so beautiful. Like it's such a real life scenario. And I feel like your journey is just, everything is just growing organically. It's like this happened, and this happened, and this happened.
That's how I work. I know I'm like, I have to work really hard at being like a goal person. People are like, what are your goals? And I feel like I am I'm structured, but I'm also very spontaneous. So I find it hard to do that. I feel like things do sort of come naturally, and it works better for me when they come naturally. I feel like things just unfold in such a better way when I sort of just listen to the invitations or listen to what's the right thing to do next in my life.
Yesterday I got to speak with your husband, and he shared his story of how he went from very corporate space to like making this huge switch to now, building like a creative business. It sounds like your story was like, do, 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 do. So I don't know if there was a really like pivotal moment. Was there a pivotal moment for you where you were like, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a business out of this. I'm going to do this. What was that?
It happened in college with my friend Megan. We were determined to do this broadcast degree and dance degree and double major, and everyone thought we were crazy. And my dance teacher was like, just focus on dance. Why are you trying to do both? And same with Megan. Megan, I felt like she's a much better dancer than me. I felt like there was so much hope for her as a professional dancer. So I think she got a lot of that flack as well of like, just dance. But it was in college when Megan and I were like, all right, we called it Production Plan 2005. We graduated in 2001. So I don't know if we just thought, okay, in 4 years we'll do our thing. And then in 4 years, we're going to have like our production company. Yeah. And so I think that's like where it started. I have a dad that's entrepreneur. He's always been creating his own work. I mean, he's a CPA, but like he's never had, I felt like he's had jobs, but it's always been like he's been creating. He's an entrepreneur. We'll just put it that way. So I think I had that example. And so I never like thought of myself as having a job. So I think that's why I sort of organically went into creating a business, because it was really soon after I moved to New York City. I did get my Pilates certification because I had studied Pilates in my dance as a dance major. That was a big part of my dance program was Pilates. And so I was able to do a certification, and I did certification with Romana Krasnowska, who is a descendant of Joseph Pilates. And I did that as sort of like a cushion, but also because I loved it. And that was sort of like helped me be able to have the courage to start my business, because I had Pilates clients and I was able to like make money that way. And so that's sort of like, yeah. So to answer your question, I feel like it was like, I never just really considered having a job. I just wanted to create. and make my own business. It was like, there's no question about that.
And that's so cool. You know, it's like you just build your own opportunities, and now you've been able to produce and direct like an Emmy nominated documentary, The PS Dance. You've been able to create some really awesome work. So kudos for you for just, you know, listening to your
Thanks.
gut and like just creating,
Yeah.
creating.
It's been hard, I will tell you, but good hard.
Well, like they always say, right? Like if something comes easy, it's usually not worthwhile. So.
Yeah. 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 There's been blood, sweat, and tears along the road.
Well, why don't we delve into that? Because there are like viewers right now, they're freelancers, they're creatives, they're trying to figure out how they can build a business and what they're doing. They're in the trenches, just
Yeah.
as you were. And the purpose for this platform is to really, you know, share what we've learned so that maybe we don't have to be as bloody.
Yeah. Right.
It's part of the growth. But yeah, why don't we delve into the tips to building your own business?
Mm-hmm.
Chris had spoken about his 3 favorites. I'm curious to find out what's your 3 favorites.
Number one is, and one thing, this is what I feel really passionate about, because I've now being in the entrepreneur world, or starting my business, or a business owner, I should say, for the past like 16 years. I've seen a lot of people start their own businesses because I'm in different groups. And over the years, I've been with different masterminds or things like that. And I see people just like quit their job and just start the business, or quit their job and just freelance. And then they're just like, and they don't have any clients, and they just think that that's what you're supposed to do. And I just think that that's really scary. I think that you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. You know, when you're fearful about making money, it's going to be hard for you to actually get the work done, or to reach out and get more clients. You're going to sound desperate. So my number one is have other ways to bring in money as you're starting your own business. So for me, that was Pilates. I also work for a dance company called Urban Bush Women. I did, I guess, quote unquote, have a job for about, I think I was with them for 2 or 3 years, working sort of part-time, having flexible hours so I could do my other things. So I had Urban Bush Women and I had Pilates. And as I was building my business, so as I was like purchasing my camera, as I was purchasing my laptop, as I was then taking on jobs, I then knew that Pilates was, you know, income that was going to keep coming in. And then I knew Urban Bushwoman was, and then I slowly weaned off of Pilates and Urban Bushwoman. So I think I got my job at Jacob's Pillow for the summer. This is just summer, so it is like freelance. And when they hired me in 2004, I thought, okay, Urban Bushwoman, you know, I'm not going to be able to work for you anymore. So that sort of went away. I still kept Pilates, and I actually kept Pilates until 2008. So if you think, I started my business in, really, I would say like 02, 03. And then not until 08, when my daughter was born, did I think like, okay, now it's time, like Pilates, thank you for everything you did for me. Now I need to go full time with my business. I feel comfortable. I feel like I have enough clients. I feel like I have enough work coming in that I can let that go. Mm-hmm. And it was sort of sad because I love Pilates, but, and I still do Pilates myself, but I feel like that's really important, just to have something. I mean, like, I know it sounds crazy, but like, even if you work at Starbucks, like even if you know, just be willing to be okay with doing something else so that you have that comfort level of another stream of income while you're getting your freelancing or your business going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because some people might have that attachment of like, oh, if I'm not doing this full time, I'm not this.
Right. That's so true.
And so that's so powerful to be like, no, you already are.
Yeah.
Now find the resources that you need so you can keep building what you're doing.
Yeah, because all that is ego. You know, you don't want to like you want to sort of like let go of that ego of just like, if I'm not only doing my freelance work, my business, my art, whatever it is, then I'm not really doing it. Because that's not true. I feel like that's being wise, that's being smart, that's being resourceful.
Hearing your story also is starting to like dispel that whole like overnight success thing where people think it just happens so quickly. But
Yeah.
hearing like the timelines and like, you know, how many years it actually took you to make those transitions, it's like, hey, an overnight success was 10 years in the making, baby. So
Right.
be in there for the long haul.
Be in there for the long haul. Oh my gosh.
Don't give up in 2 years and say, oh my God, I'm not an artist because this isn't working.
Oh my gosh.
So I think it's
Totally.
super powerful message that you just drove home there.
Yeah, totally true. Now, do you want me to go on to number 2?
Yeah, let's go to number 2.
So, well, I mean, I think this is with anything in your life, but this is a tricky statement these days. But number 2, I would say, was passion must be behind your business. Which, I mean, it's tricky because, you know, everyone says, what are you passionate about? And sometimes people don't know what they're passionate about. But I think that for this audience that most likely does have a passion, like wants to be an artist of some sort. I think that you do have to have that passion, and you have to continue to remind yourself of that passion, because if you don't, then it's hard to wake up in the morning every day and think like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And because a lot of the times what comes with that passion is there's a lot of other dirty work that you have to do along with it. Like you're not, it's not just like I have my camera in my hand all day long and I'm just like filming live performance all day. Like to return emails, I have to do contracts, I have to manage my team. There's a lot of other things involved. So you have to just continue to remind yourself of what that passion is, why you began your business, why you began the work that you're doing. And there's always like a reinventing yourself around that passion. Like I went through a 2-year period just this last 2 years. Like I just got over the hump in January of 2018. But for about a year and a half or 2 years, I was just like, what am I doing? I don't feel passionate about this anymore. I don't know where my business is headed. Someone's calling me on the radio. Sorry, can you answer? That's Caroline. Caroline's one of my interns. We're in my office, everybody.
We're alive in action right now.
We're alive in action. That's why you see lots of things behind here. So anyway, but what I was saying is I do feel like it's important to know that people, like there's ebbs and flows of, it's not like you're already like pumped or amped as you're getting amped. Yeah, you're not always amped for your business. There's going to be times where you're just like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. You're going to come through that moment. And as long as you continue to like speak about that and share with people and have conversations with people about like, I'm not feeling it anymore. And then you'll go through it and maybe you'll come out the other end even more ready and excited about what you're doing than you were before. And that's how I feel now. I feel like now I'm like more excited than I was before.
If you don't have a strong sense of why you're doing what you're doing, like you said, it's going to be really difficult to push through when things do get tough. And they do get tough. Like we were saying earlier, like I just firmly believe like if it comes easy, it's going to go away easy. If it comes easy, it's not worthwhile.
Right.
If your vision is really big and you want to, create something huge and beautiful and impactful, be ready.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to be in the trenches, like we were saying earlier.
And as my daughter says, I'm always like, I always like read people, their faces and everything. Like I always want people to be happy. It's just like a thing, I just always am like, you're good. You're okay. And even with my daughter, like sometimes she's a happy person, but she tends to like sometimes have like a little bit of a, melancholy look. And I'll say like, Gracie, are you okay? She's like, Mom, I don't have to look happy all the time. And I was like, ooh. And so I feel like the same with this kind of thing. Like, it's not like you have to be amped all the time. There can be moments where you're not feeling it. There can be moments where you're really feeling it.
Mm-hmm. And like you were saying, those are moments that can help you get in alignment, right? And feel like, okay, does this mean I need to make a pivot? Does this mean I need to do something different at this moment? Why am I so unhappy to do this? Is it just resistance? What's going on?
Right.
Having a moment with yourself.
Yeah, that's so true. So, do you want to go on to the next one?
It's getting juicier and juicier.
I don't know about that. The next one is so I had a little backstory, but I started working with a business coach in my very first business coach. Let's see, what year was that? Maybe 2008. And she was called the client attraction business coach. And which I loved. Like, I thought that was cool, to attract more clients, because that's really what you want. You just want more clients, or you want more people to buy your art, or you want more people, whatever it is. And she was big on marketing. So she really taught me to love marketing, because I was really, like many people are, resistant against marketing. Ooh, that's weird. That's a gross word, And so she said to spend 3 to 4 hours per day on marketing your business.
Right.
And I remember thinking, like, what am I going to do for 3 to 4 hours? Now I can't edit any videos. Now I can't go shoot a show. It's crazy. But I started to understand more of what that meant. And it's not like sitting there writing copy or whatever, but maybe it's like thinking about who's the next, maybe writing an email to someone that you wanted to have coffee with and network with. Maybe it's just like taking a look at your website and thinking, like, how could I freshen this up a little bit? Maybe it is writing copy. Maybe it is writing a blog post. Maybe it is calling that client back that was interested in working with you a few months ago and you haven't heard from. It could be many things, and it's amazing what, if you put that focused energy on that 3 to 4 hours. And please, all these people listening, do not get hard on yourself if you don't spend exactly 3 to 4 hours. But the point is to think about what you can do to market your business, market you as a freelancer on a daily basis, because it'll be, amazing what will come out of that when you focus that, even if you just focus some time or some energy on thinking about it. Because what happens is we're so, as artists, in the work, and we're focused, like it's like you're writing a song, you're continuing, that's what you want to do. You're focused on writing the song. And then all of a sudden you look up and you're like, don't have someone to write a song for, or don't have, because you've been so focused on your work, not focused on making sure that in 3 months you're going to have some more work, And I have to do that because I get really focused during the summer, because it's a very busy time. I get very focused at Jacob's Pillow Dance Festival, and then all of a sudden it's over, and I love being busy. I love keep, working, and then Labor Day it's over. And I've had those falls where I'm like, oh, I don't have as much work as I thought I did for the fall. And then it's like, ooh. So now with my marketing manager, Amy, who has been on with you, and Heidi, my operations manager, we now, even a month ago, talking about, okay, what do we need to do for the fall to happen? And that's important to think down the road, even though it's really hard, because you want to stay present with your.
It's so true, because I was having a conversation with a couple of my creative friends, and they're filmmakers and photographers as well, and they were like, honestly, we want to do this and we just want to be busy all the time. We just want to keep filming. And then they're recognizing, well, to be able to do that, we need clients, we need work, we need to get people in. So dedicating a big chunk of your daily practice to making sure people are coming in, I can see the value in that for sure.
Yeah. Sorry, I think now people get that there's people coming in and out of my office.
Speaking of that, I think one thing that people also are trying to figure out is this idea of building a team around you. Sometimes entrepreneurs, maybe it is an ego thing where we're like, no, we could figure it out. We could do it all by ourselves.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yes.
And they just, isolate themselves and try to build what they're doing alone. But hearing that you've been able to build your team, and heck, you have a huge production going on, maybe share some pointers on that.
Yeah, I had my first, so I did everything, probably many of the people watching in my business. I filmed, I edited, I did sound, I did my contracts, I emailed clients back, I talked on the phone, I networked, I blah, 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 everything. And it was 2007. I had a fabulous 2 interns, but specifically this one, Ashley Meter. I remember just talking to her and like, are you moving back to New York after this? And she said, yes. And I said, what do you think about working with me? She was like, oh, good idea. Mm-hmm. So and that sounds easy, but I was like panicked inside. I'm like, oh my God, I have to pay somebody else and I have to make this happen. And it starts to become a real relief, because if you want to serve people, if you want to continue to serve people in a bigger way and serve more people, if that's a goal of yours, then the only way you can do it is to ask for help. And ask for help doesn't mean that, like, as a video editor, that Ashley then came on and started editing all my videos. Really, the purpose is that I was wanting to continue to edit my videos. I wanted her to do some other things, take on maybe smaller editing jobs, or do a shoot that maybe I wasn't interested in doing anymore, and she would do, help me with contracts, help me with back-end post-production stuff, and so she started helping me with everything. She came into my house. I was working out of my house at the time. And so she would sit there at my dining room table, which was like super duper small because we lived and worked in 650 square feet, and Christopher worked there too. And we had a baby. So it was a lot. And then I slowly started building, I definitely, because I get like all worked up, there's colleagues of mine that have gone from like 1 employee to like 40 in like 2 years. And I'm like, whoa, why am I not doing that? But it's just a different way of working. Everyone's different. And so I prefer to build slower. It's just sort of the way that my business model works. I just sort of am like a little like goat, just like climbing the mountain. There's some people that just go boom. And I'm not that person. And I just slowly am beginning to realize that that's the case. So I would say it's just, and making sure that you love the people you work with. I make it a big, big point to to really love the people I work with. We have fun. We enjoy each other. We have that's important to me. And also I work with all dancers. So they all have a dance background. They're all either currently dancing or not dancing, but all have danced. And so I would just say that to just, and just so you can do it a tiny bit at a time. Like Amy, who was on here, I remember she was very scared about building that. And then she just slowly did the same thing. She just added one person part-time, added the next. So, it's amazing what a team can do for you.
I'm sure it like accelerated your growth once you were able to let go of things and be able to focus on really the area that makes you shine, and the value that you bring into your company. Yeah,
for sure.
We definitely digressed there, but I was just curious, so I wanted to go there. But we are running out of time. So just to like wrap things up on a single note or an idea, what takeaway would you like to share with the viewers?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is getting back to people, like getting back to those that are their communication. Like I feel like Christopher and I always say that usually communication breakdown is the thing that sort of makes everything funky. And I think that no matter if you're late on a deadline or early on a deadline, or someone asks you to do something for them, like they want to buy your art or they want to hire you or whatever, but just always keeping that communication flowing. And then I think another thing is just being kind. When people want to work with those people, when they're kind and thoughtful and communicate. So that's my takeaway.
Take it. Did you take it? Take it. Thank you so much, Nel, for taking the time to be a part of the
Thank you. Thank you. It's great talking to you.
I really enjoyed all the nuggets of great advice that you shared. And even I'm like going through it in my head, like, oh, what can I do? What can I do?
Good.
So I want to thank you.
We all need to help each other as artists.
I know, right? Which is why I'm so passionate about this platform, and just creatives coming together to support other creatives.
Yeah.
And my heart is singing, and I'm also been singing.
You haven't sang yet. I was waiting.
But yeah, thank you so much. And thank you so much for the viewers. This is The Thriving Artist, the show where we discuss how creatives create flourishing careers. In the meanwhile, stay inspired, stay motivated, and stay on your grind, because the world needs that special something that only you have. We are out of here. Keep creating, and I will see you in the next video. And now, I don't know when they're going to see you again, but they're going to see me in the next video. And we are out of here. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.